What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying your lives to the fullest today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2023 Ram 1500 Limited. Huge thank you to Tyler.mcpherson over at Koons, Tysons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram for allowing me to do this review for you guys today. If you guys are interested in this particular Limited or any Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram product, I'll be sure to have Tyler's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. All right, just like I start each and every one of my videos, first we're going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2023 Ram 1500 Limited. And this particular one has been painted in my personal favorite, the $200 Patriot Blue Pearl Coat paint. And if you guys have seen any of my other videos, you know I like blue on any vehicle, whether it's a truck, a sedan, or a sports car. But back into the video, let's start over here at our headlights. So with the Limited, you guys do get LED headlights with automatic high beams, as well as LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals, and LED fog lights integrated nicely into your front bumper. Some of you guys may be able to tell that this particular one has been optioned with the $4,145 Night Edition. And essentially what the Night Edition gives you guys is this Sport Performance hood, as well as this gloss black front grille with this gloss black grille surround. You also do get a black headlight bezel, which is basically like a black backing in your headlight area. And then at the center of your front grille, you also get a black Ram badge. And then also with that Night Edition, you get body color front and rear bumpers and two tow hooks integrated nicely into your front bumper. And both of those tow hooks are painted in black, as you may be able to tell. There's a closer look at that. And I think it all comes together to make this thing look absolutely fantastic, especially here with that Patriot Blue paint. I think this thing looks phenomenal. And to be honest, I even like the Ram 1500 Limited without the Night Edition. I think it looks good even without it. But if I was going to spec one, it would definitely have to be with the Night Edition. And then all the way at the bottom of your front bumper, you have that satin black valance just to help aid with aerodynamics, which hopefully leads to better fuel economy. I'm not an engineer, but I would assume that is why they put that there. And then you guys get these body color wheel arch moldings. The Limited does come standard with 4-corner air suspension, and this is it aired out to its lowest suspension setting, which actually makes it quite a bit easier to step in and out of the vehicle. But again, this one has the Night Edition, and with the Night Edition, you guys get these 22-inch black aluminum wheels wrapped in 285/45 Pirelli Scorpion Verde all-season tires. They give you guys a view of the tread pattern on those tires there real quick. Again, I think this thing looks absolutely sinister in its lowest air suspension setting. It kind of gives it the sport truck vibe to it, in my personal opinion. Rain sensing wipers, and then coming to our side view mirrors again with the Night Edition, you guys get gloss black mirror caps with integrated turn signals. These side view mirrors are heated, power folding. The driver's side mirror is auto dimming. You guys get memory functions with these side view mirrors, so when you set your memory seat settings, it also memorizes your side view mirror settings as well. And then you guys get these convex mirrors on both mirrors, both on the driver and on the passenger side. And then you also do get blind spot monitoring on the outer side of your driver's side mirror and also on the outer side of your passenger side mirror, about right there. And then all the way at the bottom of your side view mirror is where you'll find an LED puddle light, basically to illuminate this area when you guys are stepping in and out of the vehicle at night. Now let's do a little side profile of the Ram 1500 Limited with the Night Edition. Again, I absolutely love this blue, but with the Night Edition, you guys get black window trim as well as black door handles. So taking a look, the door handles are gloss black, the window trim is satin black. You do get keyless access. Just keep in mind that the keyless access functions are only on your front two doors. And then also with that Night Edition, you guys get this black Ram lettering on your front two passenger doors. But working our way towards the back end, you may be able to hear the air suspension leveling just a tad. Opening up your fuel door, you get a capless filler neck. Again, you get those body color wheel arch moldings. This particular Limited has been optioned with the $995 Ram box, which is essentially just some storage space on the sides of your bed. Just keep in mind, when you guys get the Ram box, it limits your space in the bed itself. I'll show you guys that here in a minute. but essentially you could use this as a cooler. You could use this as a space for tow straps, jumper cables, stuff like that. There's quite a bit of room in these Ram boxes, and again, these are on both sides of your bed. And then you also get a 400 watt or a 115 volt household power outlet located in here as well. These are also locking, which is very nice. You can set valuables in there, and hopefully thieves won't open these sides, but if they want it, they'll find a way to open it up. You get a power sliding rear window, you get your cargo lights up top there, and your third brake light. With the level 1 equipment group, you do get a LED third brake light, but with this one you do not. Coming around back, this is what a rear 3/4 angle of the Limited looks like. Now, as standard with the Limited, you guys do get LED taillights. Again, this one has the night edition, so the night edition does come with this tri-fold tonneau cover. But back to the standard features with the Limited, it does come standard with a dampened tailgate and a backup camera. That is where you'll find your backup camera. Again, with the night edition, you guys get this black surround around your place where you would open up your liftgate. You also get black badging with the night edition, being with your Limited badging, your Ram emblem, and your 4x4 badging on the lower right hand side of your tailgate. Also, with that night edition, you guys do get these body color rear bumpers with the step pad. So basically, if you guys want a little bit extra easier access into the bed, you can kick that out, and now it's just a little bit easier to step in and out of the bed. Again, that does come with the night edition. Also, last but not least, with the night edition, you guys get this dual exhaust with these black tips. These are kind of like black chrome tips, and I think they look sinister, they look sick, and that would definitely make me want to get the night edition. They just add an element of, again, sportiness to the Ram 1500. So all you got to do to open up the tailgate is press on this little pad in there, and then the tailgate will come down. You may be able to see you do not get spray in bed liner, and like I was mentioning a little bit earlier in the video, with those Ram boxes, you may be able to see there's quite a bit less space in this bed with those Ram boxes. You can see it probably takes up, you know, maybe 4 or 5 inches, maybe 6 inches of your bed. So if you guys use your bed often, you need the full capacity of the bed, then I would recommend not getting the Ram boxes. But if you don't use your bed that often, then the Ram boxes would be just fine. Now, this one also has the optional $645 bed utility group, and basically that gives you these tie-down hooks at all 4 corners of your bed. And that's kind of about it for what we got going on in the bed. There are a couple other things though that I wanted to mention. This one does have a couple options. So this does have the $495 anti-spin differential, which I believe is essentially a limited slip differential. And then this one also has the optional $145 392 rear axle ratio. And you can tell that this has that axle ratio because this thing gets off the line really quick. And I always like axle ratio around like 373 to 390. I think that is kind of like the sweet spot with a truck with a V8 that makes it feel a lot quicker. But a couple other things, you get a 4-pin connector for your trailer, you get a 7-pin connector for your trailer, and then this is what your conventional trailer hitch looks like. Speaking of that kind of stuff, you get a max tow capacity of 11,300 pounds and a max payload capacity of 1,800 pounds. So not only does this truck look good, but it can also tow your Dodge Demon, your Hellcat, your Camaro, your Mustang to the track, from the track, and it can do it with ease. So with that stuff in mind, we might as well talk about performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 5.7 liter Hemi e-torque V8 that makes 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 6.4 seconds. If you guys were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 17 miles per gallon in the city, 22 miles per gallon on the highway, for 19 miles per gallon combined when optioned with 4-wheel drive. And honestly, I think those fuel economy numbers are pretty darn good. You guys can see a look. It seems like the motor is mounted relatively low in this engine bay, and honestly, this 5.7 sounds so good. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm now on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your guys' help. So if you would, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior All right, guys, moving on into the interior. Like I mentioned to you guys earlier on in the video, you do get keyless access. So all you got to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by pressing on that button right there. You can tell that the vehicle locks. You can get the horn. You can also hear the locking mechanism. But one thing that I really like about Ram is that they give you a limited specific key fob. I have not noticed that with Ford or Chevy. So Ram, you guys are doing a good job with that. It's the little things that count. So a couple things you can do with the key fob that I think are pretty cool is that if you press that button twice, it will lower the air suspension into its lowest setting like we have here today. So let's say, you know, you're going out with your grandma doesn't have a very easy time getting in and out of your truck. Well, with the Ram, all you got to do is press that button twice and the air suspension will air out all the way, which is awesome. You also have the tailgate release button. You can also remote start the vehicle, so we might as well do that. Press that button twice and the vehicle will start up. Take a listen. That V8 sounds so good. But stepping on into the interior, let's take a look at the driver's side door panel. So as we know, from 2019 and up, Ram has a absolutely beautiful interior. So with that in mind, from right here all the way up to here is all leather wrapped. You get some accent colored stitching, you get some wood grain trim, you get this like black chrome door handle, you get some black chrome type trim, you get some really nice looking stitching there, 2 memory seat adjustment settings. This is what your Harman Kardon speaker surround system looks like. So with the $4,145 night edition, that comes with a 19 speaker Harman Kardon sound system. And by the way, this sound system sounds really good. And the speaker surrounds themselves look super premium. Here are your power side view mirror controls. Pressing on that button right there will power fold in your side view mirrors. You get automatic up and down windows in the front, but you do not get automatic up or down windows in the back. That button right there will restrict your passenger window privileges. Then you have your unlock and your lock functions. You get a nicely padded and leather wrapped armrest with some accent colored stitching. Great spot you can set a phone. Quite a bit of miscellaneous storage space at the bottom of your door panel. You got a spot you can set 2 water bottles right there. But comparing this to the Chevy, comparing this to the Ford has the most amount of space at the bottom of the door panel. You get a brushed aluminum Ram door sill. I'm not sure how well that's going to pick up on camera, but you do get a power front driver's seat and a power front passenger seat. But stepping on into the interior, let's see what the Ram has to offer here on the interior. So one thing that I love about the Rams is that they pay attention to the small details. So one of those small details being you get these leather wrapped OPU panels, one right here and another one over there. The back ones do not get that though. But closing that door for better acoustics, you may be able to see something that's brand new for the 2023 model year. And that is that now for 2023, you get a 12-inch digital gauge cluster on the Limiteds and on the TRXs as standard. So we're going to start over here, then we'll work our way into this screen and then into those rear seats. But I do want to make sure that I have the climate control system off. All right, so starting over here, you have your headlight controls all the way to the left. That's off. That's daytime running lights on. That's headlights in the always on position, and then that is headlights in automatic. Pressing on that button will turn your LED fog lights on or off, and then that is to turn your cargo lights on or off. This right here is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster as well as your backlit buttons, and I think this right here is to brighten and or dim your ambient lighting. Coming down just a tad bit more, you can turn your Ram box household power outlet on or off by the push of that button. This buttons here are to either push these pedals away from you or you can bring the pedals towards you. So if I press that, now you can see the pedals are coming towards me. Now if I press this, you can see the pedals are starting to go away from me. And then this is to turn your parking brake on or off. So pull up to engage the electronic parking brake, push your foot on the brake and then push on that, and then that will disengage the parking brake. You do get a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. All you got to do is pull down on that, and then the steering wheel will come towards you and it'll go away from you, and then it also moves up and down as well. One thing though I wish with the Limited is that you would get a power tilting and telescoping steering wheel, but you don't. So I thought I'd point that out. One also little neg to the Rams is that they've been using the same turn signal stock since like the early 2000s. Ram, you got to get your stuff together. These small details matter, but taking a listen, let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what your turn signal sounds like. This is also your windshield wiper control stock and your high beam control stock. Zooming back out just a tad, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel with some accent colored stitching. The steering wheel is heated and you do get one level of adjustability with it. You get some wood trim down here. You get the black Ram there. Let's take a listen to the horn. That is what the horn sounds like. You can't really hear it. You can still hear it, but there's quite a bit of insulation from the horn into the interior, which is very, very nice. So these arrows and this OK button, as well as this button right here, are all to control your 12-inch digital gauge cluster, but that is to pick up on a phone call and that is to hang up on a phone call. Here are your cruise control settings. You do have to upgrade to the $4,995 level 1 equipment group in order to get adaptive cruise control. So just standard cruise control is what you get with the Limited, which I think is also bad. I think this should come standard with adaptive cruise control, but that's just me. And then you can downshift and or upshift the transmission with these two buttons here. But let's go throughout our gauge cluster. So all of this is digital. Even where it says Limited, that is digital, and it just has a really, really clean look to it. So this is basically like the home screen, or the screen that I would leave it on. This is like your classic gauges. So basically you get your RPM gauge on the left, speedometer on the right, digital speedometer readout at the center. That is your compass over there. That is the ambient exterior temperature. Down here you have your fuel range and your fuel gauge. This is letting us know that the air suspension is in entry exit mode. That's your odometer. And then over here you have your coolant temperature gauge. Again, to control this screen, you have these arrows here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click to the right, and that's going to put me in the digital mode. So basically this is what digital looks like. And then click over to the left, and then this is what your classic or analog gauges look like. So you can either be in digital or analog. If it was me, I would probably be in analog. The digital fits the TRX a little bit better, but clicking down, that will bring me into this screen. So this is like your vehicle information screen. So you have your fuel economy stuff, you have these different gauges, you have your different oil summary stuff here, tire pressure stuff, auto stop start stuff. This is your air suspension stuff. So as you lift it, these will start to illuminate in blue. Clicking over to the right, this is like your engine info. So basically your engine hours, and then all the way back is your fuel economy. Now I'm going to click down on this again. That will bring me into my trip A. I'm going to click over to the right. That's trip B. This is your navigation stuff. So basically you can have the navigation display on screen there. Come down a little bit more. This is your trailer trip. That's that. That's that. Trailer information there. Clicking down one more. This is your audio stuff. Then you have your messages. Right now we have no stored messages. Then you can go into screen setup. So you can adjust what's up top there. You can adjust what's right there. You can adjust what's over there. You can adjust the style. You can go back to default. Basically, you can adjust this exactly as you want it to, which is pretty cool. But basically, I'm just going to exit out of that because I'm not going to mess with any of that. Basically, you can adjust this exactly how you want it to be. But again, this is probably the screen that I would leave it in. That's just personal preference. One thing I missed is that is your transmission status, letting us know that we are in park. Get leather wrapping up top here, accent colored stitching, push button start. You get some wood grain trim back here that flows throughout the entire dash. Coming over to here, this is how you go into gear. So all the way to the right, that's drive. All the way to the left, that's park. Let's say you're cruising down the highway and you want to turn down the radio and you're going 80 miles an hour and you accidentally twist that all the way to the left. This is dummy proof. So it's not actually going to throw it into park. It's basically going to be like, dude, you're an idiot. Do not do that. But it's not going to throw you into park. I think it actually throws you into neutral. But anyways, it's not going to throw you into park if you guys were worried about that. This 2-speed transfer case, so you have 4-wheel drive high and 4-wheel drive low. That will put you into true neutral, and then you also have 4-wheel drive automatic. That is to turn your auto stop start system on or off. You get a little bit of storage space in here. It's basically like the thickness of a new iPhone. Coming over to here, that's your Harman Kardon speaker. Another one over there, you get 2 tweeters, and then that speaker at the center. Up top here, you can set your key fob or something like that. You get a 12-volt power outlet, and then coming down just a tad bit more, this is the 12-inch Uconnect 5 infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Uconnect 5 is also new for 2023. However, this screen is the same since 2019. Just keep in mind, wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto are new for 2023. So over here, these are like your temperature controls for the driver. You can go in between your different modes, basically where the air is blowing. Then you have your fan speed stuff, or you could have the HVAC system in automatic. Then same temperature controls on the passenger side. You get the front defroster, the rear defroster, the AC stuff, and the recirculating. You got your volume knob. That is your tuning knob. That is to mute the sound system. This will turn the screen off. Touch anywhere on the screen and it will come back on. And then all the way up top here, you have your hazard button. But let's go throughout this screen rather quickly. All your shortcut buttons are on the bottom of the screen. So basically your home, your media, your comfort, your navigation, CarPlay, vehicle, and apps. So this is one of the screens. Swipe over, that's another screen. You can add whatever widgets you like. That's the time, that's the ambient exterior temperature. If I click right there, that will bring me into this screen. Basically, I can turn my heated seats on, I can turn my ventilated seats on, or I can turn the heated steering wheel on. Heated and ventilated seats both get 3 levels of adjustability. Then you can go into your media stuff. This is what your media screen looks like. You can go between your different sources, or you can browse, you can go into playing. This is your comfort stuff. Basically, this is what your climate control screen looks like when I turn it on. That's that, and then turn it off, press the off button, and now the climate is off. However, again, heated and ventilated front seats, both with 3 levels of adjustability. You get your heated steering wheel, and then this is your navigation screen. You get your CarPlay stuff. So this is what the CarPlay screen looks like. It's basically full screen Apple CarPlay, which is very, very nice. But then coming down a little bit more, you get your vehicle stuff. So you can go into your mirror dimmer, which is, this is your auto dimming rear view mirror, or you can pop up the rear view camera if you wanted to do that as well. You can go in between your different settings. You have a ton of different settings. So this is one of your setting screens. So watch this stuff. I'm gonna click down. That's another one. That's another one. That's another one. And that's it. So a ton of different settings. I'm not going to spend too much time on that because this would make the video very, very long. But you can go in between your different apps and stuff, the media or your comfort stuff, your navigation or your phone stuff. But that's kind of about it for that screen. I mean, it's not really, but I don't want to spend too much time on that screen. This particular vehicle has been optioned with the $1,095 trailer tow group. And basically what that gives you is the steering control. So when you're reversing, you can twist this and basically it will steer the tires the way that they need to go. Then you also get the integrated trailer brake controller with that package as well. And then last but not least, you also get a trailer tire pressure monitoring system with that package. But over here, you can bring the air suspension up by clicking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's going to bring me into my highest setting. Likewise, I can press that and then that will bring me into my lowest setting. You can see it will start illuminating as it goes up. Then that will put you into tow haul mode, and then that is to turn your traction control system on or off. I can feel the air suspension moving. You get 2 USB-C ports, 2 USB-A ports, and an auxiliary jack. One thing that's pretty nice about the Rams is that they have great spots that you can set your phone. If this had the level 1 equipment group, this is where the wireless charge pad would be. If again you had the level 1 equipment group, but this does not, so you do not get a wireless charging pad. Quite a bit of storage space down in here. You can slide this forwards and backwards as you like. If it's all the way forwards, you can click that and then you get a coin holder, and then you can also sit your key fob, your phone, or something like that down in there. But if you want that closed, then you get that nice wood grain trim. You can also close this piece here, and then that will also be closed off with the wood grain trim. But as you may be able to tell, I do have my cups there, and then I can also slide this further back, but my cups are here at the moment. Coming all the way down here, you get a 400 watt or 115 volt household power outlet at the bottom down here. I'm not sure how well that's going to pick up on camera, but anyways, then you get a little bit of storage space down in there. You could set a phone. I'll show you guys that now. Slide that in, and that is that. One thing I like with the Limited is that you get a little Limited plaque here with some stitching. This is nicely padded and leather wrapped with some accent colored stitching. Opening this up, you get a USB-A port there. You get a little bit of storage space up top here. You can fit what you need to there. And then opening this up all the way, I can slide this forward if I wanted to. Basically, you get this stuff that I would never use because I'm not a contractor. But looking down in here, you get this little divider. So basically when this part has stuff in it, it's not going to slide back into this compartment area, but quite a bit of storage space down in there. I would say with this thing closed, I would say probably about 40% of my forearm fits down in there. But with that said, you can fit exactly what you need to in there because there's quite a bit of storage space down in there. Then moving our way into the passenger seat, you get another Limited plaque. You get some wood trim. You get an upper glove box with a light. You can fit probably 12, maybe 15, maybe 16 sausage McMuffins in there. That's probably like the biggest upper glove box in the 1500 class that at least I've experienced. Then you get a lower locking glove box that'll open up for you guys. Not that much storage space in this glove box because there's a ton in the upper glove box, but you can fit your owner's manual, a couple napkins, a couple straws. But just keep in mind, because your upper glove box is so big, your lower glove box is a little bit small. But again, the entire dash is leather wrapped and it looks fantastic. You get an auto dimming rear view mirror. If you guys had the level 1 equipment group, this could have the rear view camera mirror, but this one does not have that package. You get a great spot. You can set your sunglasses up top here. And then that is to open and or close your power sliding rear window back there. You get your SOS, basically roadside assistance stuff here. That's your driver light, passenger light, boom, boom. That is to drop the tailgate. And then here are some of your other light controls. You get a universal garage door opener with 3 different garage bays. So if your house has 3 different individual garage bays, you can open up those 3 different individual garage bays with these 3 different buttons. You get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights, as well as a little clip right here. You can set money, registration, or any small paper product. Then you have these things here. I believe one of them is your Bluetooth mic pickup, and the other one might be like a temperature control, but I'm not 100% sure. They might both be the Bluetooth mic pickup. If you know exactly what both of them are, let me know in the comments down below. One thing that I also really like about the Ram Limited is that, look, you have adjustable headrests. How awesome is that? I always love to see that in vehicles. But there are a couple things I wanted to go over before we went into those rear seats. And basically, a couple recommended options that I would recommend. You don't have to get, but these are just recommendations if you guys are interested. Would be the $4,995 level 1 equipment group. I'm just going to highlight a couple of the features that I thought were important in that package if you guys wanted to get that package. Basically, you get the 360-degree view camera system, a head-up display system, adaptive cruise control, a wireless charging pad, power running boards, and etc. If you guys were interested in that. And then also, if I was going to option one of these, this isn't a must-have option for me, but it might not be for you. The $1,495 panoramic roof. This one does not have that package, but you know, you could get that package, or that, excuse me, that option if you wanted to. Again, this one does not have that, as you may be able to tell. Now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You guys can take a look at all the standard stuff, all the optional stuff, the warranty stuff, the safety stuff. Basically, you can take a look at the government 5-star ratings. This thing gets pretty much 5 stars in all aspects except for the frontal crash for the passenger and the rollover. So if you guys do, God forbid, get in an accident, you are in a very, very safe vehicle. But I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of this particular Ram 1500 Limited, which is a 2023 model year, is $77,165. I think that is a very, very good deal. So you're looking at about, I think, probably 80 MSRP, or probably like 82 MSRP, 82,000 MSRP if you guys got those recommended options. But this particular one is selling at Koons for $67,000 and some change, so about $10,000 off MSRP, which for $67K, this truck is an absolute steal of a deal. This is what the suspension looks like in its highest setting, so you guys can compare that to the lowest setting. Now it's like a Ram TRX. But anyways, taking a look at the door panel back here, just like the front, it is beautiful, leather wrapped from here to up here, accent stitching. You get that same kind of wood trim, get the black chrome door handle. Again, you do not get automatic up or down windows back here, but you get a great spot. You can set a phone, good amount of miscellaneous storage space back here. That beautiful Harman Kardon speaker surround there. One thing I also really like about the Ram products is that you get these little storage boxes down here, so you can set maybe some sodas or something like that down in there, maybe some fish if you wanted to, if you guys went on a fishing trip. But this is what these rear seats look like. Absolutely beautiful back here. These are your limited specific all-weather floor mats. I don't want to take them out, but basically they're all weather floor mats with some nice carpeting at the center. You may be able to tell I have a ton of leg room. I have a ton of knee room. I am adjusted behind myself. I am 5'9", you guys can see. Just gobs and gobs of leg room and knee room. Seat back pocket behind the driver's seat. You get an OPU panel over here. You do get heated and ventilated rear seats with 3 levels of adjustability. Where else do you see ventilated rear seats on a truck? Nowhere. That is absolutely awesome. And then also, one other thing that's awesome about Rams is, watch this. My seat is reclined now. I mean, where else do you get a truck besides in the Limited, in the TRX, that you get reclining seats in a truck? That's insane. So all you gotta do is pull up on this, and now I'm pushing back, and now I'm just in my regular position. Now I'm gonna recline again. That's awesome. And just makes the road trip so much more comfortable. You also get this third seat that looks nice and fancy. It looks like a regular seat until you pull it down. Then you get 2 cup holders and a little bit of miscellaneous storage space in there. Then you get a nicely padded armrest with some stitching. You get 2 cup holders here. You get your HVAC vents. You got 2 of them. You get a great spot. You can set a phone in there. You get 2 USB-C ports, 2 USB-A ports, and then these are your heated and ventilated seat controls, again, both with 3 levels of adjustability. And then last but not least, you get a household power outlet back here as well. There is one more thing I wanted to show you guys before we moved into the driving portion of the review, is that you can fold these seats up and then you get a little bit more miscellaneous storage space down under here. Honestly, this is probably the nicest truck in the 1500 segment still to this day, even with the Denali Ultimate. It's just such a very, very nice vehicle. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior of the Ram Limited. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I will see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, guys, and now on to the driving portion of the review, where this thing just drives so nicely. The steering is just so light, the power is effortless, and I think that has to do with 392 rear axle ratio. So if you guys do any sort of towing, this is probably the axle ratio that I would probably get for this vehicle, just because it really just, it makes light work of accelerations around town. I mean, the motor really doesn't have to work all that hard, and just accelerates to the speed limit really, really quickly. It just makes driving this thing super, super effortless. Now, another thing that makes, damn, that guy's totally in my lane. Another thing that makes this effortless as well is the steering. The steering feel is super, super light. It's very easy to maneuver around a parking lot. I mean, for a truck, that's the kind of steering that you want, you know, unless you're, you know, looking for a sports truck and, you know, you want that steering feel. This is the type of feel that you want in a truck, just to make it very, very easy to drive. Also, this suspension is really, really good, and I've always given GM props for their suspensions, but this suspension is also really, really good. It's super comfortable, but it also just handles really well as well. It's like a very minimal body roll. It's a great suspension, and it's also an air suspension, so you can air it up, you can air it down to your liking. I did a little example earlier on in the video where I said, hey, you know, if you have a grandma, you know, who does, you got to take her to a doctor's appointment or something like that. It makes it very easy for your grandma to step in and out of the vehicle, because you can lower it for her to get in and out. And definitely lowering it makes it a lot easier to step in and out. And if you want it to get even easier to step in and out, even with it being lowered, you might want to get the level 1 equipment group, just because you can get those power deploying running boards. So it's just an extra step up, makes it a little bit easier to get in and out. And the reason I use the grandma example is because one time we had a rental Ram, and this was like a probably like in 2018. It was just an SLT, so pretty much a base model, and we tried to get my grandma in and out. You know, she was on the bigger side, and she couldn't really get in and out. I actually had to lift her kind of up into it to get in. So that's what I'm saying. I think the air suspension would make it a lot easier for her, well, she's dead now, a lot easier for a grandma to get in and out. It lowers it, and it made it noticeably easier for me to step in and out, and that is why I wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. Also, Harman Kardon sound system in this is really, really good. It sounds great. The clarity is great. The bass is great. I think GM is the king of the sound systems with their Bose sound system. It's just hard to beat a Bose sound system. So I still have like Bose Performance Series sound system at the top of my list, just because it's just a really, really good sound system. But this is a close second, and the Bang & Olufsen system found in the F-150s and stuff is third. It's still good. Like, the Bang & Olufsen sound system is still good, don't get me wrong, but it's just, it can't keep up with the Bose with the with the bass and stuff like that. And I also feel like I can beat up the Bose in like the GM series trucks more than I can beat up these ones in like the Fords. But this is also really good. It's just not quite as good as the Bose systems in the GM products, but still a really good sound system. It sounds great. The clarity is great. This infotainment system is very easy to use as well. It's very intuitive. You get the wireless CarPlay, you get the wireless Android Auto. It's just a really great driving truck. I'm gonna give you guys a couple seconds to hear what it sounds like cruising at about 45 miles an hour. It's just very well insulated from the outside world. It does have active noise cancellation, and you can hear it. It's very quiet in here. It's a very like luxurious ride. I feel like I don't have to talk that loud in order for somebody, you know, my passenger to hear me. It's just a really great driving truck overall, between parking, between just cruising. It's a really nice truck to drive. It's very easy to drive, and it would make for a great daily driving truck. Other than the fuel economy, even the fuel economy isn't terrible, but you know, when something says it gets 17, you're really looking at probably like 15.5 or 16 depending on how you drive. But 22 miles per gallon on the highway with this axle ratio, I think is really good. But overall, it's just a really great truck to drive. I am going to do a little acceleration onto the highway here so you guys can kind of get an idea of the 5.7 mated to those 370, or excuse me, the 392 rear axle. So we'll see how she accelerates. The initial punch off the line is great always. I've already experienced it because I tested it out a little bit, but I'm gonna do a little slow speed acceleration, let those people kind of get ahead of me, and basically all I'm gonna do is floor it. Here you go. Just keep in mind that acceleration is on a downhill slope, so it does make it a little bit easier, you know, to accelerate. But you guys can see it just accelerates great. The transmission is awesome. That's one thing I like about the 8-speed used by Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, is that it's just better than the 10 speeds. Like the 10 speeds in the Fords and the Chevys, they're just a little bit clunky, whereas this is just boom, boom. You know what you're gonna get every shift. It's a great transmission here. And I mean, basically similar transmission is found in that Scat Pack right there. But cruising at 62, look at the RPMs. Take a listen to the sounds of the wind noise and the road noise. So at about, you know, 62 miles an hour, you're at about 1750 RPM. So at about 80, you probably be around 2000-ish RPM. So with that lower axle ratio, you know, your fuel economy is going to suffer, but cruising wise and just overall, I think it's a great axle ratio to get, just because it just makes light work of accelerations around town and stuff like that. So overall, this is a great truck. Make for a great daily driver truck. I think it looks great. I love the night edition. Overall, it's just a great, pleasant driving experience, and it makes driving a truck just very easy between the axle ratio and the steering lightness and stuff like that. It's just great. Here's another little acceleration. 5.7 sounds phenomenal. It's a great looking truck. Overall, it is just such a joy to drive. Suspension is great. Everything is great. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I mentioned earlier on in the video, I am now on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your help. So if you took anything from this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.